You know that feeling when it starts raining and everyone immediately goes, ugh, plans ruined, traffic, wet shoes, bad weather, and you just exhale. While people are cancelling trips and complaining about humidity, you're secretly thrilled. Curtains half open, rain tapping on the window, phone on silent, world slowed down. If this sounds like you, congratulations. You're not weird. You're psychologically wired to love the rain. And no, this isn't just about liking the smell of wet soil or chai code. There's something much deeper happening in your brain. Because rainy season people aren't just tolerating the rain. We're experiencing the world differently. And yes, science actually backs this up. So today, let's talk about why some people genuinely love the season that makes everyone else irritated, restless, and uncomfortable. Because there's a lot more going on here than umbrellas and cloudy skies. First question, why does staying inside feel so perfect when it's raining? Not okay, not, I guess this is fine, but deeply, emotionally satisfying. Here's what's happening in your brain. Rain creates what psychologists call auditory safety cues. The sound of rain is non-threatening, repetitive, and unpredictable in a gentle way. Your nervous system interprets it as no danger, no action required. That steady rainfall literally signals your brain to lower alertness. That's why rain feels calming. That's why your shoulders drop. That's why your thoughts slow down. And when you're dry, warm and safe while it's raining outside, your brain releases comfort chemicals because you're protected from chaos. You're inside. The world is messy, and you're not required to participate. Summer doesn't give you this. In summer, staying inside feels like you're hiding from life. The sun is out, people are active, there's pressure. But rain removes that pressure. Rain gives you permission. You're not avoiding life. Life itself has paused. Rain is nature's excuse, and your brain loves excuses. There's something called external justification relief. Basically, when you want rest but feel guilty about it, your brain stays tense. Rain removes the guilt. You didn't cancel plans because you're tired. You cancelled because, look outside. You're not unproductive. The weather is. And that relief, that's dopamine. Your brain relaxes because you no longer have to justify slowing down. Rainy season is an introvert's natural climate. Let's be honest. Rain reduces social expectations. No one asks, "Oh, why aren't you out?" Because everyone can see why. Rain is social camouflage. Introverts don't hate people. We just hate constant stimulation. And rain softens the world. Fewer people outside, muted colours, lower light, softer sounds. All of this matters. Introverted brains are more sensitive to sensory input. Heat, brightness, crowds, they drain us faster. Rain literally turns the volume down on existence. It's not sadness, it's relief. Ever notice you think more deeply during the rain? That's not poetic imagination. Rain encourages introspective cognition. Your brain switches from action mode to reflection mode. That's why rain makes you. Think about old memories right better. Listen to slower music. Question life, feel things you usually ignore. The world outside becomes blurry and abstract, so your inner world becomes clearer. Rain pulls your attention inward. And for some people, that's where they've always felt most alive. The grey skies aren't depressing, they're grounding. We're told that bright skies equals happiness, dark clouds equals sadness, but that's oversimplified. Grey skies reduce visual overstimulation. There's no harsh contrast, no blinding light. Everything feels even, balanced. For people who overthink, overfeel, and overprocess, this neutrality is soothing. Rainy light doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't shout, it doesn't sparkle, it just exists, and it lets you exist too. Rain creates emotional honesty. Summer pushes positivity. Be happy, be active, be fun. Rain doesn't pretend. It allows melancholy without labeling it as a problem. You can feel nostalgic, quiet, soft, uncertain, and no one expects you to perform happiness. Rain makes emotions feel valid. That's why rain lovers aren't dramatic, they're emotionally fluent. They're okay with feelings that don't need fixing. The deepest reason some people love the rain slows time, not literally, but perceptually. When it rains, routines break, schedules shift, plans dissolve, you stop rushing toward the next thing, and for once life feels less like a race. Rain reminds your nervous system that Not everything needs progress. Not every day needs achievement. Not every moment needs proof. Sometimes being present is enough. And rainy season people understand that instinctively. So if you love the rain, what does that say about you? It means you value depth over noise. You're comfortable with pauses. You don't need constant sunshine to feel okay. You understand that stillness is not emptiness. In a world obsessed with brightness, speed, and productivity, choosing rain is quietly rebellious. You're not waiting for clearer skies to live. You're already living, right here, under the clouds. So next time someone asks, "Why do you like this weather?" you can tell them, it's not despite the rain, it's because of it. Some of us were built for storms. Why some people are emotionally aligned with the rain. You know what's funny? The moment it starts raining, the world splits into two types of people. One group immediately complains, "Everything's ruined!" Now what? Such a bad day. And the other group doesn't say anything. They just look outside, listen, and feel something settle inside them. If you're in the second group, you're not romanticizing the rain. You're responding to it on a psychological level most people never notice. Because rain doesn't energize, it regulates. And for certain minds, regulation feels better than excitement ever could. Rain doesn't demand performance. And that changes everything. Modern life is built around visibility. Be seen, be active, be productive, be available. Rain interrupts that system. When it rains, visibility drops. Literally and socially. People disappear indoors, the streets empty, the outside world softens, and suddenly you're not expected to show up. That's not laziness, that's nervous system relief. Your brain finally stops scanning for expectations. No one is watching, no one is waiting, nothing urgent is happening. That's silence, that's safety. The sound of rain rewires your attention. Rain is what psychologists call pink noise. Not silence, not chaos, something in between. It masks sharp sounds without demanding focus. It occupies the background of your mind so your thoughts don't spiral as much. That's why rain helps people sleep, improves focus, reduces anxiety for many, makes conversations feel deeper. Your brain stops jumping between stimuli. It settles. And when a mind that's always on finally gets rest, it feels almost emotional, like being understood without words. Rainy days make solitude feel intentional, not lonely. Here's a subtle but powerful difference. In clear weather, being alone feels like exclusion, like you're missing something. In rain, being alone feels chosen. You didn't get left out. You opted in. That shift matters. Loneliness is about feeling unwanted. Solitude is about feeling aligned. Rain turns isolation into sanctuary. Rain invites memory, and memory brings meaning. Ever notice how rain pulls old memories out of nowhere? Childhood afternoons, old songs, people you haven't thought about in years. That's because rain slows external input, so your brain fills the space with internal material. And memory isn't random. It's how we make sense of who we are. Rain gives your mind time to connect dots it's been too busy to see. That's why rainy season people tend to be reflective, emotionally aware, good at understanding patterns, comfortable revisiting the past without drowning in it. Rain doesn't trap you in memories, it lets you process them. Why sadness during rain doesn't always mean depression. This is important. Rain can bring melancholy, but melancholy isn't a disorder. It's a quiet emotional state where you're aware of complexity. Sadness says, something is wrong. Melancholy says, something is real. Rain creates space for emotions that don't need fixing. And people who love rain are usually okay with emotions that aren't loud or clear. They don't panic when they feel heavy, they listen. That emotional tolerance is strength, not weakness. Rain teaches patience in a world addicted to urgency. Rain delays things, traffic slows, plans change, time stretches, and for once, you can't rush life back into speed. Rain reminds you that some things happen on their own timeline. Not everything responds to effort. Waiting isn't failure. People who love rain tend to understand this intuitively. They don't need constant progress to feel okay. They trust pauses, rain and creativity. Why ideas flow better? Creativity doesn't thrive in pressure, it thrives in permission. Rain removes urgency. There's nowhere to go, nothing to prove. Your mind wanders instead of performs. That's why so many people write better, Think deeper. Imagine more freely during rainy weather. The rain doesn't inspire ideas. It removes the obstacles to them. Rain is the emotional honesty disguised as weather. Sunshine encourages optimism, even when it's fake. Rain doesn't lie. It allows softness, uncertainty, depth. And people who love rain usually value authenticity over constant positivity. They don't need life to be bright to feel meaningful. They're okay with complexity. They understand that calm doesn't always look happy. The real reason rain feels like home to some people, home isn't always a place. Sometimes it's a state of being. Rain creates lower expectations, slower rhythm, quieter. World internal permission. For some nervous systems, that feels like alignment, like finally being in sync with the environment instead of fighting it. So if you love the rainy season, here's what it really says about you. It says, you don't confuse stillness with stagnation. You find comfort in depth, not distraction. You're okay sitting with yourself. You don't need perfect conditions to feel alive. You're not waiting for clearer skies. You understand that life happens in pauses too. And while others see rain as interruption, you recognize it as invitation. An invitation to slow down, to feel honestly, to exist without performing. Some people were built for sunshine, others were built for storms, and neither is wrong. But rain people, they know how to live quietly and deeply, while the world is busy running elsewhere. Share your experience in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more psychology-based content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.